Do you feel that you are reasonably good with your food during the day? But once the evening arrives, everything just seems to fall apart. Dinner finishes and you instantly want something sweet. Then perhaps something salty. Maybe even a cheeky glass of wine. Then you plunk yourself on the sofa, put Netflix on, and all of a sudden you just get this overwhelming feeling of being hungry. The chocolate comes out, the popcorn, the biscuits, the crisps, another glass of wine. And you sit there after a while thinking to yourself, why can I not control myself? Now, it's going to be really easy just to blame motivation or your willpower. But I want you to think a little bit differently. I want you to think about the whole day rather than just that overindulging couple of hours in the evening. Because sometimes that 8 p.m. problem probably started at 7 a.m. that morning. My name is Arron and I am the Over 40s coach. I work with people who are over the age of 40 in person and online to help them with their weight, to help them get fitter, stronger, and create realistic routines and habits that work around their life. And in this video, we're going to look at why evening eating can become such a problem, and more importantly, how you can practically do something about it. So the typical plan. Let's start with a day I see regularly. You wake up in a rush. You've hit snooze a few times on your alarm. Perhaps you're not hungry, perhaps you're trying to save some calories, or perhaps you're just running late. So breakfast becomes a coffee, maybe a cheeky little biscuit, perhaps nothing at all. You brush your teeth, you ship the kids off to school, and you get to work. And you don't even get 2 minutes there. You're straight into the fire. Then lunch arrives. Work's busy. You've already had a few phone calls and text messages from friends and family, and you grab a sandwich. Or you deliberately keep lunch really low in calories because you've told yourself you can't be eating because you want to lose some weight. The afternoon gets busy, you finish work, you've got to go and get the kids. They might have after school commitments. You might have something you need to do after work. You have another coffee. And by 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, you are starving. You get home and you start preparing dinner. And while you're preparing dinner, you start picking on things. A little bit of cheese, a little bit of bread, maybe some of the food that the kids left. Whatever you then make for dinner is eaten quickly because of how hungry you are. And then 20 minutes later, you still want something. And then this is where you tell yourself, I can't do it, I've got no willpower, I just need some motivation, what's wrong with me? But just consider what actually happened. You may have consumed little to no calories through the day, and by doing that, your hunger has just been building for hours. So it's not surprising that come 6 o'clock in the evening, anything that's available to you, you're just going to eat. And resisting it is considerably harder. And this is why telling yourself to not snack in the evening is just too difficult. So we need to kind of look at why it is you want to snack after dinner of an evening. So you've got your physical hunger and you've got other reasons. Not every evening eating scenario is because you're hungry. And this is important. You could be eating because you're bored. You could be doing it because you're stressed. You could be doing it because sitting in front of Netflix at 9 o'clock at night and grabbing a glass of wine and the pack of biscuits is just a habit that you've created over time. You could be tired. It could just be that food is one of the ways that you reward yourself for a busy and hectic day. Or it could be that you've just not eaten enough throughout the day. And these problems require different solutions. So if your problem is physical hunger, making your evening routine stricter might not actually fix it. You may need more food earlier in the day. If the issue is stress, eating more breakfast may not completely solve it either. You may need to look at other things to help decompress after work that doesn't involve food and alcohol. So before changing anything, start observing your evening. Start observing what you're doing through the day and the reasons why you find yourself snacking in the evening. Am I actually hungry? And there's no shame if the answer is yes. You're allowed to be hungry. It's not a character flaw, but it is information. So when it comes to calorie counting in particular, You don't necessarily have to save every calorie for later in the day or later in the week. A lot of people will deliberately eat less through the day to give themselves that bigger allowance of an evening. And there's nothing automatically wrong with that. To be honest with you, I'm not a very big eater through the day. I don't have a lot of hunger or craving through the day. I don't know why, I just don't. But come an evening, I am. And so I'm lucky that I have my calories, or the majority of my calories, to enjoy a nice evening meal. But forcing yourself not to eat through the day, being hungry throughout the day, is running that risk of you then overeating and over-consuming calories in the evening. So we might need to consider how we distribute our calories throughout the day. Look at your breakfast. Why is it that you're having nothing or something very small, or something that's going to be very detrimental to your goals, a big bowl of cereal and a cup of tea with 3 sugars? Now, there's no rule, you don't have to have breakfast, but if having something in the morning is going to help you with your calorie target and your hunger throughout the day, it is something to consider. Breakfast doesn't have to be enormous, and it doesn't have to be a protein shake with egg whites. It could be Greek yogurt with some fruit, it could be some porridge. Now let's move to lunch. Again, the solution here is to maybe prepare something the night before. If you are going out to eat something at lunchtime, you're going to buy something from a shop, then try to ensure that it is something that's going to serve you for the rest of the day. It's high in protein, it fits your calorie target, and is actually going to give you some nourishment. One great thing that you can do is your evening meal that you make this evening, make enough that you can take in for some lunch tomorrow. This is going to save you so much time and stress. Now, I know I go on about protein, but it really can help. And if you are right now exercising and trying to lose weight, this, in addition to your calorie intake, needs to be of high priority. Ask yourself, where is my protein coming from? And in addition to helping you with your recovery from exercise, it's also going to help fill you up for longer. People who eat a high protein diet typically find they can curb cravings. And again, we're not asking anybody to eat like a bodybuilder, but we do want to ensure that our meals are nourishing, high in protein, and fit a calorie target that we have. Now, I don't need to go into detail as to why fruits and veg are important, but it could be another strategy to help you not only on your calorie deficit, but to help with your hunger throughout the day. Fruit and veg is very filling. It's high volume, low calorie for the most part, and obviously it's going to help you with every other goal that you have towards your health and fitness. I think outside the box, we don't necessarily have to go for things like broccoli, carrots. We can go down the route of more salad options. You have your peppers, your onions, your mushrooms, all things that are going to be great for you with your calorie deficit, but also from a nutritional point of view as well. Now, the afternoon can be a bit of a danger zone. For many people, lunch typically is around midday, 1 o'clock, and they might not then eat till 6, maybe even 7 o'clock in the evening. That's a long time without eating. And a lot of people will avoid snacking in the afternoon because they think it's going to be detrimental to their goals. But go back to what we said earlier. If you're leaving this big window where you're not eating, you run the risk of becoming more and more hungry. So have things that you can go to, whether it's in the fridge, a cool box, or something you can take to work with you. Some pre-cooked meat, some boiled eggs. This is where potentially a protein shake can come in. A protein bar, some fruit, some yogurt. There's so many different options that you can have as a snack that's going to serve you with your goals. And try to plan this. Of all the meals and things that you have through the day, your afternoon snack could be, and maybe should be, the one thing that you really make an extra effort to plan ahead with. This way you're not going to end up walking into the local shop, or if you're working from home, into the kitchen and just eating whatever's on site. So what about after dinner? Let's fast forward. Now we get into like the habit. Perhaps you have eaten adequately throughout the day. Dinner was satisfying. But the moment you sit down in front of the TV, you want something to eat. That might not be physical hunger. Your brain might have just simply connected television with food. You sit down, the program starts, the biscuits come out. And because this has happened hundreds of times, it's just a habit that happens. So it might be a case of changing your routine in the evening slightly. Sit somewhere different, have a different hobby in the evening. This is going to sound strange, but after dinner, brush your teeth, just a slight different routine. Something that is taking your brain away from associating after dinner, sitting down and eating more food. You could even go for a small walk. Mix it up through the week as well. Similarly to the afternoon snack, you could have something that's available to you should you want to sit down and watch some TV, but ultimately something that's going to serve you. You don't need to ban every food forever, but we are trying to remove automatic behavior to intentional behavior. Let's look at stress eating. So another major driver is stress. You have had a difficult day, it's been busy at work, the children want you every 5 minutes, and you finally get everything settled. You're ready for the next day, and food becomes your reward, and you tell yourself that you deserve it. And to be fair, you may deserve something enjoyable after a busy day. The question is food that thing? And if it is, how is it going to serve you in the long term? Could you go for a walk? Could you take a shower? Could you read? Could you do Duolingo? Could you get on the phone and ring somebody? There are a million things that you could do differently in the evening that would change that bad habit that you have. And none of these things mean that you can't have chocolate or biscuits or crisps again. It's just that if right now the goal is to lose some weight and the evenings are ruining that for you, we need to make some changes somewhere. If every stressful day leads to over-consuming on junk food and drinking alcohol, can make weight management and weight loss, recovery from exercise, performance in the gym, the list is endless, that much harder. So sleep matters as well. We mentioned this earlier. Tiredness around 8 o'clock in the evening can make you go in the kitchen and eat. You tell yourself, well, it's too early for bed. What can I do to give me a boost in energy? And again, that's where the crisps and chocolates and everything comes out. So what do you do here? Well, to be honest with you, if you're staying up till 11, 12 o'clock and just forcing yourself to be awake after 8 o'clock when you had that initial feeling of being tired, then it is going to be difficult. But could you, in the week, be going to bed a little bit earlier? I'm not saying 8 o'clock, but 9:30. What this then does is allows you to have more time in the morning, and if you're already having a stressful morning and rushing around, by getting to bed earlier, you are more likely to be getting up earlier and have more time in the morning to not be stressed. Now, one thing I want to make very clear, and I say this to everybody that I work with, no food is forbidden. We do not want to make a list of foods and drinks that we cannot have ever again. Think about the last time you did that. And it's that same saying of, if you told a kid not to press the red button, guess what's going to happen? Probably going to go and press the red button. It's the same with food. If you tell yourself you can't have it, after a few days, you're probably going to have it. And you're going to want it even more than ever. But it is about moderation. It's about looking at the times that you are having these foods and overindulging on these foods. So be deliberate in your choices. Allocate calories to have some foods that you actually enjoy. Maybe you need to start looking at building your day from the end of the day backwards. Start with dinner. Decide what you're going to have for dinner today. Decide what time you're going to have it. Then decide what you're going to have as a snack, as a lunch, and as for breakfast. And work back. That way, when you get up tomorrow morning, you already kind of know how the day is going to go. You're not winging it. The key is to avoid enormous stretches of the day where you don't eat. What I do want you to do, and this is where it can get a little bit fiddly, but it's important and it will help you in the long run, is to track what you're doing for 7 days. Write things down if you have to. What did you have for breakfast? What did you have for lunch? Did it contain protein? When did you become hungry? What did you do about it? What snacks did you have? What were you feeling? Were you hungry? Were you stressed? Were you bored? Were you tired? What happened just before the snacking? You might notice some patterns. Perhaps Wednesday nights are particularly difficult because you work late. Maybe the problem is Thursday because after work you have 8 different things that you've got to do with the kids and you don't get home till about 8:30. Perhaps it happens after you drink alcohol. Maybe it's Sunday and you're just bored in the evening. Different patterns, different solutions. So monitor what you're doing. And then most importantly, don't judge yourself. This is important. Remember, if you're watching this and you've come this far into the video, chances are you are wanting to make some changes to your health and fitness. So if you do discover that you're eating in the evening because you're stressed or tired, or you've just kind of let yourself go a little bit, it's fine. It's information. It's useful. The conclusion should be, good, now I know what I need to work on. And useful coaching, whether it's coaching yourself or having someone coach you, is always going to start with accurate information. You can't solve problems unless you have the right information in front of you. So 5 things that you can kind of start working on over the next week, 2 weeks. If your diet is regularly failing you of an evening, think of these things. Number 1, make a proper lunch. I said earlier, tonight when you make your dinner, make enough for lunch tomorrow. Secondly, try to include protein earlier on in the day, particularly at breakfast. Number 3, remember that fruits and veg are going to really help you. They are high in nutrition and they're going to fill you up for longer. Number 4, plan your snacks. Make sure that it isn't just a pack of crisps and a chocolate bar. Think about something you can have that is actually going to serve you. And number 5, when evening cravings appear, pause, identify whether it's hunger, boredom, stress, tiredness, or just a bad habit. Do this for the next 7 days, 2 weeks, and get as much information as you can, and then take it from there. Evening eating, or certainly evening overeating, is not necessarily a willpower problem. Sometimes it is simply the predictable result of how you would rest on a day that has had no structure. If you spend the whole day being hungry, no wonder the evening is difficult. If you are stressed, food is an easy coping mechanism. If you're tired, your decision making can become difficult. And if snacking is linked with watching the TV, you may just be eating automatically. So don't only ask this question, how do I stop eating in the evening? Ask, what is getting me to a point where I'm overeating in the evening? So if you're watching this video through August, end of this month on the 31st, I have a 10-day reset. It's completely free and it's online. It's going to help you with nutrition and calorie counting. It's going to give you some challenges every day and some accountability. I'm going to be coaching and training live throughout the 10 days as well. It's a great way to reset after a busy summer. And like I said, it's completely free. If you're interested, there's a link in my bio. After 40, life can get very busy and our nutrition can become quite difficult to monitor and have a routine that fits and allows you to see the results that you want. If that is the case, hopefully all the content here on my YouTube channel helps. If it does, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.